drifter, I'm as free as the breeze, and I ride where I please. I'm the drifter. They call me the drifter, they say I'm no good. I'll never amount to a thing. I'll never be trapped by a young lady's smile. Wedding bells never will ring. I'm the drifter, drifter. I'm as free as the breeze, and I ride where I please. I'm the drifter.
Reckon it'd be all right if I'd come in and warm up a little bit. It's mighty cold outside, and it's beginning to snow.
I ought to shoot you, you young whelp, for scaring me to death. Well, get on in here. Don't stand there like an idiot with the door open.
I'm afraid to do anything. That gun pointed at me the way it is.
From the looks of you look down the business end of many a smoke pole.
Well, I guess you're right about that. But this is the first time I've welcomed the opportunity. Whew, boy, it's cool outside tonight.
What are you doing up in this high country? Running scared, boy?
Oh, no, sir. I just lost a trail long about dark. Just stumbled across yours and I followed it here to your cabin.
What are you sniffing at?
It sure is ripe in here, isn't it?
Well, what'd you expect? A room full of roses? I can give you any odor you want. Otter, beaver, panther, or even skunk if you want it.
No, it's all right. And it's inside and it's warm.
Yeah, it's warm in here.
Say, I noticed a lean-to on the side of the shack out here a while ago as I rode up. You reckon it'd be all right to put my horse in there? I'd kind of like to take care of him.
Yeah, it'll be all right. That old knot-headed mule like a little company. Bring your saddle and you roll on in.
All right, sir. Much obliged.
Yeah. Up here in the middle of it. And bust my guitar and everything. What?
Boy, it's cold.
Yeah. Boy, you sure fixed this thing.
What do you mean? I haven't even touched it.
Well, you didn't have to touch it. You banging on that door and made me nervous as a cow with a buck-toothed calf, and hit it on this table here, and I think I busted it. I can't see too well.
Let me see that thing.
Oh, no, you don't, sonny. Ain't nobody touches this, especially somebody don't know nothing about it.
Well, how do you know I don't know something about it?
Well, how would a drifting man know something about a guitar?
Give me a chance. Let me see it.
Well, be careful. Be careful with it. That's the only thing I've got I wouldn't sell. And I traded a third of my winter's catch for that thing 20 years ago, and I don't think a lot of it.
Is that right? That doesn't seem to be cracked anywhere.
Well, it ought to be. I hate it there.
A little out of tune. That sounds pretty good.
Well, I'm a three-legged polecat. You tune that in 3 minutes, and it sounds the best it ever did. How do you do that? Let me see that thing. I believe I can sing with it that way. I'll take you home again, Kathleen.
Wait a minute. Wait. That is absolutely the wrong chord there, old-timer. That's bad.
Wrong chord, wrong chord. I've been a-singing this tune for 40 years. I reckon I know what's wrong and right about it.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a long time to be wrong.
All right, new-timer, you see what you can do with it. Show me how.
Well, now, all I want to do is just show you where you made your mistake. That's all.
Yeah.
I'll take you home again, Kathleen. right there. Now, there's where you made your mistake, right there. Try it now.
Oh, no. You go right ahead, boy. That's the prettiest I've heard that in 30 years.
Well, thank you.
Go ahead.
I'll take you home again, Kathleen, across the ocean wild and wide, to where your heart has ever been. Since first you were my bonny bride, the roses all have left your cheeks. I've watched them fade away and die. Your voice is sad whenever you speak, and tears bedim your loving eyes. I'll take you home again, Kathleen, to where your heart will feel no pain. And when the fields are fresh and green, I will take you to your home again.
Ah, it's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, I remember my father used to sing that to my mother back when I was a boy. They've been gone for years now. Where'd you learn that song?
I learned that from a singing man in one of those traveling minstrel shows, one of those big Eastern shows I guess about 20 years ago.
Now, that's where you ought to be, in one of them singing minstrel shows back east, to singing for them rich folks. Why, with a voice like that, you'd become wealthy. Did you ever think of that?
Yeah, I've thought of that. Then I thought about being my own boss. And, boy, I couldn't be my own boss if I was in one of those big singing shows back east. You know, I wouldn't be free to ride through the kind of country that I like to, and, well, I wouldn't be free to stop in at a trapper's cabin, you know, like tonight, and spend a few minutes and make a new friend. I guess that sounds kind of foolish, doesn't it?
No, it don't, drifting man. Your goal in life is to find happiness and not wealth. And very few men have got both. Sing us another song.
All right, sir. Let me see here. Well, I left the trail in '79 with the herd strung out behind me. As I jogged along, my mind turned back to the girl I left behind me. Sweet little girl, that pretty little girl, the girl I left behind me. Sweet little girl, that pretty little girl, the girl I left behind me. If I ever do get down off of the trail and the engines, they don't find me, well, I'll make my way straight back again to the girl I left behind me. Sweet little girl, that pretty little girl, the girl I left behind me. Sweet little girl, that pretty little girl, the girl I left behind me.
I'll never forget the spree I was on when I first heard that. I guess your travels take you everywhere, don't they?
Yeah, I've been just about as far east and as far west as you can go. Been about as far north and about as far south as you can go, too.
Yeah. Well, where you headed for tomorrow, and where you been?
Well, I'm on my way to California again.
Mm-hmm.
Been figuring on hooking up with a wagon train that's leaving Salt Lake in a couple of days. And Well, the last 3 months I've been out in the Texas and the New Mexico territory.
New Mexico territory.
Yeah.
That's where that mean feller, Billy the Kid, is, ain't it?
Well, now, that's where he was.
What do you mean, was?
You mean you don't know?
No.
Well, you know now Pat Garrett, he's the sheriff out there in that territory.
Yeah.
Oh, he shot Billy one night.
You don't say.
Sure enough.
Well, how'd he catch up with that outlaw?
Well, now, I've heard 2 or 3 different stories about it.
Well,
Now, one was how he tricked Billy, you know,
yeah.
and the other was how he shot Billy fair and square. How long you been up here?
Well, let's see. I've been up here 5 months now. 5 months, and you the first feller I've seen since I've been up here.
Well, I'll say. You know, well, that happened about 4 months ago. Someone's already written a song about it. Billy the Kid.
Oh, have they?
Yes, sir.
They wrote us out. Well, do you know it?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yes.
sing it for me. I'd
Well,
love to hear it.
Oh, all right. I'll sing you a true song of Billy the Kid. I'll sing of some desperate deeds that he did way out in New Mexico long, long ago, when a man's only chance was his old 44. There's Mexican maidens play guitars and sing songs about Billy, their boy bandit king, ere his young manhood has reached its sad end, with a notch on his pistol for 21 men. There's many a man with a face fine and fair, who start out in life with a chance to be square. Just like poor Billy, they wander astray, and they'll lose their lives in the very same way.
You know, being up here like I am, I miss out on a lot of things. You know, I've been a trapping 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah. And sometimes I think I'll just quit, you know, and go down to the low country. And, why, there's a feller in San Francisco that offered me a foreman's job in one of them big tanneries.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You might wind up being an executive.
I'm just like you. All I want is happiness, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Well, I'll tell you, old-timer, here's to happiness.
It ain't quite champagne.
Champagne trapper style.
You know, I don't travel around much, and I don't know too many songs, but I bet you know a lot of songs, and maybe some about, you know, where the cowboys get around the campfire and sing. Do you know any of them kind?
Yeah.
Wish
yeah,
you'd sing.
Sure. Let me sing you one about, I learned this from a cowboy, and it was about one of his buddies that was killed in a stampede.
Oh.
A group of jolly cowboys discussing plans at ease. Said one, I'll tell you something, boys, if you will listen, please. I'm an old cowpuncher, all here I'm dressed in rags. I used to be a tough one and go on great big jags. I have got a home, boys, a good one you all know, although I haven't seen it since long, long ago. I'm going back to Dixie once more to see them all. I'm going home to Mother when the work's all done this fall. That night this very cowboy went out to stand his guard. The night was dark and stormy, was raining very hard. The cattle, they got frightened and they rushed in wild stampede. The cowboy tried to turn them while riding at full speed. While riding in the darkness, loudly he did shout, trying his best to stop them or turn the herd about.
His saddle horse did stumble, and upon him it did fall. Poor boy won't see his mother when the work's all done this fall. They buried Charlie at daybreak, no tombstone at his head. Nothing but a little board, and this is what it said. Charlie died at daybreak, he died from a fall. Poor boy won't see his mother when the work's all done this fall.
It's a pretty song. It sort of makes me sad that young cowboy didn't get to see his mother before he cashed in his chips.
Yeah, I know just what you mean. Boy, and the way that young cowboy done it up that night was enough to chill you to the bone.
Well, you didn't do too bad of painting that picture out there.
Hey, you must know a couple of pretty good songs yourself, old-timer.
Oh, I don't. I ain't much hand of singing when somebody's around. Oh, once in a while, you know, I'll sing to pass the time away.
Well, do me one. I fooled around. I know I've let my coffee get cold. Why don't you do one while I warm it up?
Well, I'll use this banjo here if you don't mind.
Okay.
And don't be surprised if the timber wolves start tearing the door down.
What do you mean by that?
Well, last time I sung, there's two of them tried to claw that door down there.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, I hit one of them long, high notes, and they thought it was one of the pack in trouble.
Go on.
Oh, tell me if you love me, kitty Clyde. Oh, tell me if you love me, kitty Clyde. Put your little hand in mine and say I'll be thine. Tell me if you love me, kitty Clyde. Oh, who hasn't seen kitty Clyde? She lives at the foot of the hill in a shy little room back to the shady brook that buries her father's old mill. Oh, tell me if you love me, kitty Clyde. Oh, tell me if you love me, kitty Clyde. Put your little hand in mine and say I'll be thine. Tell me if you love me, kitty Clyde. With a basket to carry her fish, she trips along by the brookside. Well, how I do wish that I was a fish to be caught by my pretty kitty Clyde. Oh, tell me if you love me, kitty Clyde. Oh, tell me if you love me, kitty Clyde. Put your little hand in mine and say I'll be thine. Tell me if you love me, kitty Clyde. Ooh, what do you see out there?
Well, I don't know. I thought I saw a timber wolf. I guess it was just a shadow. Anyway, I see a couple of stars. Look like the storm's just about over.
Well, I wish it wouldn't quit. I don't get much company up here, and I sort of thought you'd stick around a day or two.
Oh, that would be nice, old-timer, but, gee, we still got a couple of hours. We can just sit around and jaw and sing songs.
I bet you know 100 songs or more, don't you?
Oh, I'll tell you, I've never stopped to count them, but I do know quite a few. And you know, of all the songs that I know, ones I like best are the songs about love.
Oh, I sort of lean that away myself. Won't you sing me one?
Well, all right. You know, I knew a lady once that could write poetry. Oh, she could write it so beautiful it would make you cry. She could write about that stack of skins you got sitting over there. And she'd just darn near bring tears to your eyes. And she wrote a little poem about the valley that she lived in. You know, and she put a tune to it, made a little song out of it. And she sung it to me the last time I saw her. I've never forgotten it. The name of it is People's Valley.
Well, won't you sing?
Well, all right. Let me...
Love to hear. Love to
Okay.
hear.
Oh, the roses haven't bloomed in People's Valley, and the old mill wheel we played on doesn't turn. The brook still calls your name in People's Valley, but the mockingbirds won't sing till you return. You asked me if I'd wait until I heard from you. A year has passed and still there's not a word from you. You told me when the grass was green you'd come to me. The tears I cry are deep inside, no one can see. When your drifting's done, I'll be in People's Valley, in the meadow where the brook still calls your name.
Pretty, mighty pretty.
Yeah, sure like that.
Yeah, yeah. You ever plan to go back?
Back where?
People's Valley.
Oh, I don't know. I might drift back through there someday.
She might not wait that long.
Yeah, I've thought of that too. But you know, being a drifter like I am, I just don't think I'd be good for anybody.
Well, you could settle down, couldn't you, if you tried?
Well, now, you know how that would be. You know, you could catch a wolf, and you could bring him in here, and you could pet him, and you could hand feed him. He'd stay with you for a little while. And then one night, when you'd really grown to love him, that old moon would be out there just a-hanging there in the sky. That breeze would be whispering through the pines. Now, something would call him. You couldn't hear it, but he could. Oh, he'd trot off out there a little piece, and he'd raise that nose up to the moon, and he'd let out a long, lonesome howl. Then he'd turn around, and he'd look at you, and he'd whine a couple of times, you know, just to apologize for leaving. I'm afraid that's how I'd be.
Yeah, I guess we are alike. Well, we better get ready for bed. It's getting late, and you got to get an early start in the morning. You know, it's a long ride off of this mountain. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, and it is getting kind of late, I guess.
I'll tell you, just to be sociable, I'll give you the bunk and I'll take the floor. How about that?
Well, gee whiz, I appreciate that, old-timer, but, you know, I haven't been in a bunk so long that I'd probably fall out of it before morning unless you put a saddle horn on it.
Well, I wish you'd sing us one more song, will you? Huh?
All right.
Just one more.
Let me sing you one here. This is a song I learned down in the desert country, down in the Arizona territory a couple of years ago.
Nighttime on the desert, a blanket of blue above. Nighttime on the desert, time to dream of love. The light that I'm under is a moon big and pale. Somewhere out yonder a coyote wails. Nighttime on the desert, time to dream of love.
That's pretty.
Oh, good night, old-timer.
Good night, but I wish you'd stick around. I sure have enjoyed it.
I'm the drifter, Frisco I traded my horse and saddle while out on a spree. And I took a trip on a seagoing ship, the islands I wanted to see. I'm the drifter, drifter. I'm as free as the breeze, and I ride where I